All right, I'm Josiah, and today we're going to read between the lines on what these coaches have to say. Ben Johnson is one of my favorite coaches. He's a freaking genius, and usually he's very honest in these interviews too. So this should be a good one. Let's see what he's up to.
Back on what Ryan said about thank you to the organization, the McCaskey family, front office, really the whole support staff. This place is phenomenal. We're in tip-top shape, and every coach, every player, they have every resource that they could ever need to get better over the next 6 weeks and really for the whole season. So we're really excited about that. Speaking of excitement, a few things about training camp that just get me going. The first one is our team. Obviously, this is our chance to forge our identity. And a lot of coaches come up and they say we're going to be this, we're going to be that, and the other, and yet this is where it all happens. This is we got a whole different group of guys than we did a year ago, and this is where it gets fun. Is call it half the roster was here, half the roster is new. There's a lot of getting to know each other, and yet it's a chance for us to create a new chapter of Chicago Bears football, the 2026 version. So excited about that. Excited about the competition that's going to unfold as well. You just talked to Ryan about some particular spots where that might occur, but for each player, it's an opportunity to earn a spot on the roster. It's a spot to earn a role. Could be a starting spot, could be depth piece. Of course, we know special teams plays a huge part of that as well. So for us as coaches and personnel staff, I know we're really going to be having our lens out and evaluating each and every single day. And then finally, I'm really excited about this coaching staff. The continuity that we have is a little bit unique in the NFL right now. You look around, there's 30 plus new play callers in the NFL. And fortunately here, we were able to have a lot of the same faces come back. And with that, I really expect another layer of sophistication to occur within this building and with our players. I've already felt it over the course of the springtime. I feel it right now, getting ready for training camp. There's things a year ago we're trying to speak the same language. Now we're past that, and everyone's kind of reading each other's thoughts. And so on with the elementary is a thing of the past, and we can level things up as a coaching staff as well. So it's a really exciting time to be here. And with that, I'll go ahead and open it up.
All right, yeah. Normal, basic, preseason, early training camp intro. Nothing special there.
Success and the momentum that was built last year, what in your mind are the ingredients to sustaining it going forward? I know last year's in the past, but how do you...
Yeah, it starts all over again. And we talked about this when last year ended. It's a brand new group of guys. We're in a race right now to develop the same chemistry that we had a year ago. I thought that was one of the things that was our secret sauce, was guys playing for each other. We had a really close-knit group, and here it is. This is the time of year where you stay in a hotel or you go on the road for some joint practices like we'll do later on in camp, and we got to come together as a group. And there'll be some trials and tribulations. Coaching staff, we're going to apply pressure and stress on these guys. I think that's where the best version of yourself comes forward. And so, I don't think there's, you talk about sustaining success. Well, shoot, we're starting all over again. That's been the consistent message.
Ryan talked about the hunter's mentality. How do you describe that to your players? What that
Oh man, that's for team meetings. We keep that there. Yeah.
Caleb, what are kind of the things that are kind of top of your checklist for him? Maybe that might not have been on last year's checklist. Now that there's a little more comfort in the system.
Yeah. He and I were just talking yesterday about that. Is I have this urge as an offensive guy to want to continue to evolve and you can say innovate and push the limits a little bit, and yet at the same time, in the back of my mind, what's best for him is to continue to bank some of these reps. He's had 2 off seasons and 1 training camp so far, and a full season, obviously, to where he's had a lot of the similar concepts repeat for him, and now we're at the point where he's not thinking about the play call. He's not thinking about the cadence, the motion, and all the jigamarobe before the snap. Things are starting to slow down. And so what we need to see here in camp is that anticipation, take it up a notch. I think with that, the coverage recognition gets taken up another notch. I think there's other ways we're going to continue to challenge and push them, more of which are going to happen post-snap. Last year, we talked about that pre-snap operation quite a bit. Feel a lot better about that this time of year than we did. And so now we're just moving on to the next stage.
That was interesting. it's always just interesting to see like how the head coach is thinking about the growth of the quarterback. And he started off by saying he really wanted Caleb to evolve and really continue to grow the offense, but then he also kind of battles that within himself of, hey, like let's make sure we're still building upon the foundation of things and not dramatically changing things as much. And so you kind of got like a bit of a split, which makes sense for the type of guy Ben Johnson is. But just an interesting answer there. Not really anything to take away, but a little bit different than I expected.
Familiarity and the continuity that you guys have, will camp look different?
Yeah, I mean, every camp looks different. I mean, the way it's laid out in terms of having these 2 away joint practices, particularly week 2 and week 3, it is going to be different. I'm excited about that, though. I think it's a great chance for our team to come together. You know, when you go on the road, in particular, there's really not family. It's you, it's your buddies, it's the hotel, and you know, I think it's a great opportunity for us to bond together. So that'll be different. But I mean, the pillars all stay the same. I mean, it's going to be a physical. It's going to be a tough. It's going to be a demanding ordeal. Anything worth doing is going to be challenging. These guys all know that, and I think they embrace it as well.
And now that you've had time to really spend with Caleb over the last really year and a half, what do you deem his elite traits in this position?
Oh shoot.
I didn't hear that.
I mean, he's got it all, Stacy. There's really nothing I don't think that he can't do. It's just elite arm talent, playmaking ability, escapability. You know,
She broke up a little bit there, but I think she said, what are some of his strengths? And, you know, he's going to ramble about this a little.
he has his legs that he can hurt a defense with. I mean, there's just so many layers to who he is as a player. I think that word consistency comes up over the course of a 60-minute game or more if we need it, to where we're playing high-level quarterback play throughout that game. I mean, you see flashes of it, and yet we're trying to tap into that where we're just consistently delivering the ball where it needs to go, giving it to our guys around us, and then we all know that he has that ability to put on that Superman cape when the time calls for it.
Do you feel any?
Again, that's what I love about Ben Johnson. He's just extremely honest, and we've all seen this with Caleb. His flashes are sky high. Holy shit! Wow, he did that. And then a few plays before, you're like, is he a quarterback? And we saw it last year. He continued to improve every single game, and he's only getting better. And I think he ended well where it's just like, hey, yeah, he's getting more consistent, but we're just continuing to expect more from him. And so we're expecting more growth this season. And I think he's right. That will happen.
Differently, do you feel any differently about the left tackle position today than you did on this day last summer?
I would say I've got a better feel for our guys. I mean, there's a number of them that were here last year. You know, Jedrick's really the new face, so I feel better about Braxton in terms of his health and his outlook. So I feel like he's got another step up in terms of his confidence level than he did a year ago at this time. You know, Theo was a guy last year I didn't know a whole lot about. I got high hopes for Theo as a player in this league as well. I mean, I can go on and on and on. So I know those guys a lot better, and I think another year of mentorship under Dan Rochar and Kyle Devan is going to do nothing but help all of them play better.
What's been your message?
Yeah, that left tackle spot has been a big question mark for the Bears. But, you know, he gave the basic answer. It doesn't sound like he's overly confident, but he's like, I know these guys a little bit more. I like Jedrick Wills Jr., but it sounds like he's confident enough for them to do what they need to do here. But definitely, I didn't get a ton of confidence from that answer.
To Kyler Gordon.
Get healthy.
And with the uncertainty of when he'll be available to you, what's your vision for fortifying the depth?
They asked about Kyle Gordon. He's their nickel back. I think, yeah, he plays cornerback for the Bears. And basically, Kyler Gordon has been very in and out of games for a while now. Last year in particular, he missed a ton of time. And now he's still battling like a bit of a calf injury. And so, literally, get healthy.
There so that you have option?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we stocked back up in that DB room again, and we'll see how it all plays out. And you know, there'll be certain players that certainly flash here, and we'll give them opportunities to run with the ones. You know, while Kyler's out, and we'll see where it goes from there. But we have a lot of options from rookies all the way to some of these veteran players, the free agents that we brought in. I think we're gonna have a healthy competition in that room.
Coach, I know you have
They do. The Bears do just have a lot of bodies at the cornerback spot. And that's not even just looking at the nickelback position, which is where Kyler typically plays. They have a ton of just very viable guys that they really can just have a true competition and see who rises to the top. They're in a decent spot. Whereas the cornerback spot has historically been a little weak for the Bears, not because they had bad players there, but because they were very injury prone, kind of like Kyler Gordon. And so it's good to see that they have at least a plan for if these injuries do happen.
I know you'll design your system around the players that you have, but with another year of player acquisition, another year of player development, are you closer to what your ideal version of football looks like in terms of the person that you have?
Good question.
I think you're always striving to reach a. Yeah, I talked about those buzzwords before. You want, when the tape comes on, to be a physical, a sound, a poised group. Each year you try to define that for your guys and see how close you can come to put that on tape on a consistent basis. And so we got a high level of talent on this roster. I'm not concerned about that at all. I'm more concerned about how we come together as a group right now.
a couple more, please.
There was no real right answer there. Saying like, hey, is the team where you want them to be when you envision like your perfect team, basically? And the honest to God answer is always going to be no. It's training camp. You don't really know who's really going to be starting yet for you fully, and you just never know what's going to happen. So he gave the best answer he possibly could. I wouldn't read too much into that.
Caleb and wanted him to be a little more efficient and higher completion percentage, things like that. What are the different factors of that equation that you're looking for, like the specifics that will lead to that for him?
Well, I mean, I think fundamentally he's done a great job over the spring and summer just looking at himself, body position wise, from an accuracy standpoint, or my feet aligned to where I want to throw the ball. And I think that's the time of year that you do that. And then when you get into the bullets flying, and we got full speed reps here with O versus D, I think that's where the ability to see where I should go with the football, the process a little bit faster. That's what I'm hopeful for, is that we see another step in terms of the processing speed, because we do have these banked reps at this point.
Well, it's funny. People have asked a lot about Caleb Williams today in this interview, which makes sense. He's a quarterback. He's still young. That's when you get a lot of these questions about the quarterback position. But I saw an interview of Caleb Williams talking about how he lost 12 to 15 pounds. I'm pretty sure it was Caleb Williams saying that. And it's just interesting that Ben Johnson hasn't mentioned that, because usually when these players talk about weight loss, it does end up being a bit of a nothing burger. But it's just interesting to see what different players versus coaches focus on.
Still the
It's always going to be the goal, guys. It's always going, and that's going to be every quarterback in this league. Always 70%. You're going to have a darn good offense if your quarterback's completing 70% of his balls.
When you watched all the incompletions, like what was that exercise like for you and him?
Fun. Yeah, no, I mean it's good. It's good. I mean, there's a number of times for me as well. It's like I need to. He's having to throw the ball away, and you're like, well, shoot, I didn't give him a good opportunity there on that one. And so, that's why I talked about in the springtime. Us as a staff, we got to continue to do the best we can to get the primary receiver open. That makes his job a little bit easier. And then he's going to do his part and elevate his game as well. So it's a balancing act. We're all going to be better this year in a lot of ways than what we were.
Boom. That's what you want. Like, that's literally all you can get. I love how transparent he's being, and just not a lot of BS or fluff, just very straight to the point answers. It does mean like there's not too much to analyze as much, but it's just appreciated when you can just tell someone's saying what they mean.
Us two, Dan and Steve.
And I guess I'll stick with the primary receiver conversation, because you brought it up a handful of times throughout the offseason. What specifically didn't meet your expectations in terms of the ability to get that guy more regularly?
I mean, listen, it's almost impossible to do it every single snap, and yet we take a lot of pride as a coaching staff to put our homework in and study the defense and figure out where we could, was it to get access or attack a certain player or matchups, whatever that is. And I just felt like we could take that up another notch. That's without any state secrets getting out of there. That's the gist.
Yeah, I mean, no DJ Moore is a really big deal, and I don't think he's wrong that giving Rome and Luther Burden more opportunities is a good thing. I am curious to see how they're going to utilize Khalif Raymond, but also Colston Loveland's going to be very involved in this offense as well, like we saw towards the end of last year. So I am curious to see what their game plan is, but I think everyone knows Ben Johnson is not one to share too many secrets there, but he also has a little bit of everything, so he can't.
About you, Ben, where are you at in your evolution as a head coach? Anything feel different? Anything look different?
Still feels like I'm drinking out of a fire hose, if that's what you mean. But it's like I alluded to a year ago. I mean, I got a great staff around me. I continue to learn from them. I mean, every day DA says something to me that's a gold nugget. Richard Smith, same thing. Bill Johnson. We've got all these veteran coaches, and you know, a guy like Harry Freed with the game management. I mean, I think we took a step forward in that department here this offseason. I got to spend a lot of time with Coach Hightower in the special teams room. So, you know, I always think as the head coach, you're trying to bring all three phases together the best you can on game day, and I'm hopeful that I'll be able to do that better this year.
Real. Good stuff, Ben Johnson. Excited to see what the Bears bring to the table this year. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how y'all are feeling about the Bears. I'm excited. I'm excited for a good season. Peace out, y'all.